Hi, I'm Don from DonDronesOn. In this video, we'll explore the Drone Pilot Canada map and show you some cool tricks and tips you might not otherwise know about. So today I'm going to use Thunder Bay, Ontario for my example and use that to show the various map functions. Normally you would see a blue dot in the middle of the screen showing your current real location. But I'm not actually in Thunder Bay, so you won't see that. Let's start with the buttons on the screen. In the top right, this symbol is the Go Home symbol. Pressing it will return the map to your current real location. And I'm not going to demonstrate that because it will reveal the top secret location of my Dawn Cave. I'm demonstrating this on an Android device. On iOS, the Go Home button is actually in the bottom right. It's a Google Maps function. Who knows why they did it differently on the two platforms. Okay, on the top left, we see three different toggles. The first one is between map view and satellite view. This is fairly obvious. You tap that and it changes the map to the satellite view, and you tap it again and it switches back. No big deal, very easy. The other two toggles are a little trickier, and they will only appear if you have certain drones in your aircraft list. So this one will toggle between the Transport Canada, or TC, view and the DJI map view. And this toggle will only appear if you have at least one DJI drone in your aircraft list. I do, so that's why I see the toggle. Keep in mind that the TC view is the legal view, and that's the one you have to follow and respect to stay within the regulations. The DJI view, which I'll show you, is totally different, as you can see, but it's very handy to have accessible to you because it will determine whether or not you can actually fly your drone at a particular location or whether you need to do some sort of an unlock. Okay, so it's handy to have both views at your fingertips. There, I've switched back to the TC view. This third toggle switches between what Transport Canada calls a small RPAS, which is a drone between 250 grams and 25 kilograms, and a sub 250 gram drone. This toggle will only appear if you have identified one of your drones as being a sub 250 gram drone. I'll show you. So on my aircraft list, I have a Mini 2, and you can see I have identified it as being a sub 250 gram drone. Okay, and when you tap that one, as you can see, the colors on the map change, and the messaging that you'll see in a minute will also change. Okay, so down in the bottom corner here is the radar button. If I tap that, map zooms out a little bit, and you'll see these green blobs moving across the screen. And I'm sure you'll recognize that kind of an image as precipitation. So this is a Doppler radar view of precipitation in the area. Green is a light rain, and yellow or red are heavier rains. We show 10-minute snapshots from about 2 hours in the past up to the current time, and you can see the time changing just beside the radar button there. And this will give you a quick heads up for what might be coming in your direction. All right, the legend button is pretty self-explanatory. It explains what the different colors are and what you might see on the map. Sky Vector. This shows you a VFR chart view of the same map location as you are showing on your screen. So it's very handy to flip to if for whatever reason you want to consult a VFR chart. Not terribly helpful in my opinion, but there you do have access to that official chart format if you wish to see it. The NOTAM button. This button gives you access to the Nav Canada NOTAM search website. You can enter the name of a city, so we can type in Thunder Bay, for example, and you can see different sites that are showing up. So we can just pick this one, for example, as an aerodrome. Tapping search will show you a full list of all the NOTAMs, or notices to airmen, for that site and region. This is really important to check in case of temporary restricted zones like forest fires or other emergencies like that. And by the way, you may see additional functionality around NOTAMs in Drone Pilot Canada incoming releases. So there's something to look forward to. Tapping back, the final button on the screen here at the bottom is the New Flight button, which I'll cover in other videos. And this is the basic button that you hit to record flights. Now, if we zoom in a little bit, we can tap on the map and it will provide you information about the spot that you tapped in terms of restrictions. So here we see that Thunder Bay is a pretty typical small airport with a Transport Canada keep out zone, a 3 nautical mile radius, surrounded by a larger control zone. And we provide you with basic instructions for what this means. We provide you contact names and contact numbers, phone numbers for each of those things. And again, if you have a DJI drone in your aircraft list, we provide you information about what DJI authorization zones or restricted zones you may encounter at that spot as well. And again, what you have to do to deal with it. Okay, tapping away, you can zoom in now, and over here we see a gray area. And if we tap in there, we see that not only is there a registered aerodrome in the area, that's the yellow circle, but we also can see provincial parks. Provincial parks each have different rules from one province to the other. And what I've done is I've researched into these and I've provided you the name of the park and basic information about what that area means for drones. In this particular case, drones in Ontario provincial parks require authorization from the park superintendent. That's pretty typical across Canada, but like I said, there are variations. While we're zoomed in, let's tap away from that. Let's just zoom in a little bit more and slide over a bit. And you'll see that this red dotted line appears on the map. Red dotted lines are major power transmission lines, and we show them on the map to give you a heads up about what you can expect in the area. One more thing that's cool and is kind of a hidden feature, and you can use this to amaze your friends. If you tap on the map and then do a long press at another spot on the map, like that, it will draw a little line there and give you the distance down here at the bottom in kilometers and the heading or the bearing from your first point to the second. So in this case, it's 3.3 kilometers away and 24 degrees, roughly north-northeast from one to the other. Pretty cool, eh? All right, let's check out the dot menu because that's where a lot of the map functions are. So if we tap the dot menu in the top right, we see record flights manually. Remember I said the new flight button is your normal way of recording a flight? Well, if you forgot to record a flight in the past, or you want to create a flight record in advance of a flight, maybe you know you're going to be too busy to be recording it, but you don't want to forget to have a record, you can record flights manually. So what you do is you tap that, and it says you'll be turning on the manual flight recording mode, so you can record multiple flights at once this way. You hit OK. You tap the location on the map where you want to create your manual flight. You hit OK. You enter your pilot and aircraft information just like before. And of course, it brought up the defaults in this case. And you hit Start Flight. So then you can select the date of your flight. So maybe it was a couple of weeks ago. We select the date, and you can select the time and put any flight notes. Okay, and then when you're done recording your flight, you can hit Stop Flight Recording. All right, so that's how you can record a flight manually. Oh, one other thing I forgot to show you is if you rotate the map using 2 fingers on the map and then rotate it, you'll see that there is now a compass symbol showing you which direction is true north. And if you tap that compass symbol, it will reorient the map so that north is at the top. That is cool. All right, we'll go back to the dot menu. I'm going to skip the create a flight plan function because that's fairly complicated, and there's a whole video for that on its own. So I'm going to hit the third thing here, assess airspace. What this does is it provides you an analysis of that point that you just tapped. It will give you the class of airspace. In this case, it will say you're in Class D, controlled airspace. It will show you nearby airports and heliports. These are the ones that you're within the restricted circle for. Okay, so in my case, I'm within the I'll call it the keep out circle for the Thunder Bay Airport. And then down here, it will show you all other certified, registered, or military aerodromes within 10 nautical miles in order of increasing distance. And it will also show you for each one of those all of the contact information and the heading or bearing towards that airport. You can export this report to an email by tapping the export function on the bottom there. So the next two functions on the dot menu are the hide circle buttons, and they toggle between hide and show. So if I hit that, it now is not showing. See, so now I only have one circle showing. And if I hit show, and now I tap, it will show two circles, okay, the 0.5 and the 1 kilometer. The cool thing is you're not limited to just those sizes. If we do a long press on, say, the 0.5 kilometer circle, you now bring up a little menu and you can select whatever you want. So maybe you want to have an idea of what's closer in range. So we can go, for example, 0.1 kilometers, and you see you can set it to kilometers or nautical miles, your preference, but we'll select kilometers. And now we have a circle that's 0.1 kilometers in diameter, or in radius, excuse me, or 100 meters. So fairly close range that we can judge the scale for. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that when you tap on the map, it shows you the elevation above sea level in feet. And the other thing is if you tap on the little marker there, the red marker, it will show you the distance from your current location. So I'm 1,046 kilometers from the Dawn Cave, and it will show your latitude and longitude in both formats, the GPS format and the degrees, minutes, seconds format, as well as, of course, the elevation above sea level. All right, so that's another map function that we have. Now, sometimes it's annoying, get all these markers all over the screen. So we do provide a clear last location button, and it'll clear all that stuff off your map. All right, let's move down. Search for location. Well, this is fairly obvious. If we tap this, we can type in whatever we want. So for example, Victoria, we can type in and we can search for it. It gives you any options that might have matched that, and of course it'll zoom right in on that location. Okay, simple as that. And the other thing that you can do if you search for a location, the previous button will show you all the different places that you have searched, and then you can just click on that, for example, Kamloops, and you can go straight to that location directly. So if you're frequently looking for the same locations, it automatically remembers your previous ones. Last but not least is this strange stop following me function. Now, if you're pre-planning a flight and you're moving around, your map will tend to follow you. So the blue dot will, if it's off the screen, it will move along and follow you. And to prevent that from being a hassle, you can simply hit the stop following me function, and then you can be free to move around on your map without worrying about your map kind of zooming back to your current location. And then if you hit it again, you can see it changes back to follow me. Well, there we have it. A tour of the map screen and some cool tricks and tips to help you plan your flights. Drone Pilot Canada, built by Canadians for Canadian drone pilots. Safe and happy flying.